The moment you start genuinely improving your life is the moment your friends start punishing you for it. By the end of this, you'll have a name for the invisible force that pulls you back to your old self, a name for the subtle sabotage you've been feeling for years. You're fighting the group's immune system, and you'll soon realize it has you completely surrounded. This system operates through something we'll call social fines. These are the small, almost imperceptible penalties your social circle issues when you deviate from the established norm. They are the currency of homeostasis. You decided to stop drinking, and at a party, a friend says, "Oh, right, I forgot you're too good for us now," with a little laugh that makes it a joke. But the fine has been paid. You started a side business, and when you mention a small win, a friend immediately changes the subject to a TV show everyone is watching. Another fine. You lost 20 pounds, and someone says, "You look amazing. Just don't get obsessive about it." It sounds like concern. It lands like a penalty. Each transaction is small enough to be deniable. If you call it out, you're the one who can't take a joke. You're the one who is too sensitive. This is a feature of the system. The fines are designed to be frictionless, to slide into the conversation so smoothly that you only feel the sting afterward, a quiet confusion that you can't quite place. You just know that sharing your progress suddenly feels expensive. These moments feel like random instances of friction. They are the surface layer. What's happening underneath is a form of social accounting, far more systematic than you think. Every social group operates on an invisible, unwritten ledger. Every member has a place, a role, a certain baseline of behavior and achievement. This baseline is the group's equilibrium. It's the comfortable temperature that everyone has tacitly agreed upon. When you start improving yourself, waking up earlier, learning a new skill, earning more money, becoming more disciplined, you are unilaterally turning up the thermostat. Your success, your growth, creates a deviation from the group's average. You are running up the score on the social ledger. The group feels this imbalance. It feels like a debt. And the social fines are simply the group's attempt to collect. They are the cool air the thermostat pumps in to bring the temperature back down to the familiar set point. Think about the friend who, right after you announce your promotion, immediately brings up a funny story about a time you failed miserably 10 years ago. They are applying a counterbalance. They are subconsciously trying to subtract points from your new total to bring you back in line with the ledger. Or consider the feigned indifference. You spent months working on a creative project. You pour your soul into it, and you finally show it to your closest friends. They glance at it, say, "Oh, that's cool," and then immediately turn their attention back to their phones. That silence, that lack of engagement, is one of the heaviest fines you can pay. It communicates a powerful message. Your new passions are irrelevant here. Your enthusiasm is a disruption to the flow. These are all mechanisms of a single system designed to protect the group identity from the perceived threat of individual change. This explains what is happening, but it doesn't quite explain why. Why does your success feel like a personal attack on them? The answer is buried in the brutal logic of how we measure our own worth. Human beings are creatures of relentless comparison. Our sense of well-being, our status, our self-esteem, these things are rarely measured against an absolute, internal scale. They are measured relative to the people around us. When you and your friend are both struggling financially, there's a shared camaraderie in the struggle. You are on the same level. The moment you get a significant raise, you have, by the laws of social comparison, actively lowered your friend's status without them having moved an inch. Your gain is processed by their brain as their loss. It's like two people jogging on adjacent treadmills. You are both running at a comfortable 6 miles per hour. There's a silent solidarity. Then, you crank your speed up to 9. Their speed is unchanged, but they instantly feel slower. They feel left behind. The social fine is the voice that yells over, "Hey, what are you trying to prove?" It's an attempt to get you to slow down, to return to the shared pace where they felt comfortable. This mechanism is ancient. For tens of thousands of years, our survival depended on staying within the protective embrace of the tribe. Being different, standing out too much, or being perceived as a threat to the group's cohesion could lead to ostracism. And for most of human history, ostracism was a death sentence. Your brain is still running this ancient software. It is exquisitely tuned to detect deviations from the social norm, both in yourself and in others, And to correct them, your friend's brain sees you changing and a primal alarm bell goes off. The alarm says, "Warning, group member deviating, cohesion at risk, deploy countermeasures." The social fine is that countermeasure. But here's the most unsettling part. The people issuing these fines almost never know they're doing it. In their own minds, they're just being funny. They're keeping you from getting a big head. They genuinely believe they are helping you. The human mind is a justification engine. When our actions conflict with our self-concept, the brain generates a story to resolve the contradiction. Your friend sees themselves as a good, supportive person, but they feel a flash of negative emotion when you succeed, a discomfort born from that shift in relative status. This creates cognitive dissonance. I am a good friend, but I feel bad about my friend's success. The brain can't hold these two ideas at once. So, it rewrites the narrative. It reframes your positive change as a negative trait. Your newfound discipline is obsession. Your ambition is arrogance. Your commitment to a healthy diet is a sign that you're no fun anymore. Suddenly, their social fine is a noble intervention. It's an act of friendship. They tell themselves, "I'm just worried about them. They're working too hard and losing touch with what's important." Or, "We miss the old you, the one who knew how to relax and just hang out." These are the scripts the justification engine produces. They allow your friend to issue a social fine while still feeling like a good person. They are telling themselves a story that makes their discomfort feel like concern. This is where the stakes escalate dramatically. The fines become a fundamental misinterpretation of your character, a subtle attack on your new identity, all wrapped in the language of love and friendship. And this is precisely where most people make a critical mistake. They try to argue. They try to explain. They attempt to justify their new behavior. And that only makes everything worse. You're trying to reason with an immune system. When you defend yourself against a social fine, you are confirming its premise. You are pleading guilty to the charge of being different. A friend says, "You've changed," with a slightly accusatory tone. You respond by explaining why you've changed. You detail your new goals, the books you've read, the reasons you're getting up at 5 in the morning. You lay out a logical case for your own evolution. The immune system is only registering one thing. You're admitting to the deviation. Your defense is taken as a confession. In fact, your well-reasoned explanation gives the system more ammunition. It provides specific concrete evidence of just how far you've drifted from the group center. You are feeding the very mechanism that is trying to pull you back. It's like trying to argue with a thermostat. Explaining why you need the room to be warmer won't stop it from pumping out cold air. The thermostat only responds to the temperature. The correct response is a form of social aikido. You absorb its energy and redirect it, or simply let it pass through you. Someone says, "Look at Mr. Big Shot with his new job." The defensive response is, "It's not a big deal. I just got a little lucky," which is a form of self-fining. The argumentative response is to justify why you earned it. The aikido response is to smile and say, "Yep, planning my private jet purchase next week," with a tone that makes it absurd. You agree and amplify. Or you can simply absorb it with a slight smile and a shrug, offering the mechanism nothing to push against. This starves the system. An immune system is looking for a foreign agent to attack. If you don't present yourself as a threat, if you don't engage in the conflict, the system has nothing to do. It often just deactivates. But what happens when the fines don't stop? What happens when they escalate from subtle jabs to more overt acts of exclusion? There is a tipping point where the steady drip of social fines becomes a social foreclosure. When the small fines, the jokes, and the backhanded compliments fail to bring you back in line, the group's immune system has one final powerful tool. It forecloses on the relationship. It's a quiet, administrative process. The texts become less frequent. The invitations to group hangs start to dry up. You find out about gatherings after they've already happened. It's a slow, managed fade-out. They have collectively decided that you are no longer one of us. The cost of trying to pull you back has become too high, so they write off the debt. They foreclose on your membership. This is the ultimate consequence of growth when it's met with an inflexible social system. It's the silent heartbreak that many people feel when they level up in life. The realization that some of the people they started with won't be there at the finish line. Many see this as a tragedy. They see it as a failure, a sign that they did something wrong. But this perspective is incomplete. The system of social fines is a diagnostic tool. It is a filtering mechanism of extreme precision. These fines, these moments of friction, are forcing you to see the terms and conditions of your relationships, terms that were previously invisible. A social fine reveals which of your friendships are based on unconditional support for you, the person, and which were conditional on your staying in a specific, non-threatening box. The friends who cheer you on, or who at the very least have the grace to remain silent, are the ones whose connection is to your character. The ones who consistently issue fines are the ones whose connection was to your shared status level. Their friendship was with your position. The fines simply make that distinction visible. They show you the price tag of your own evolution. And this exact same mechanism explains why surrounding yourself with people who are already where you want to be is so powerful. In that environment, the group's thermostat is set higher. Their immune system works in your favor. Their baseline is your goal. In that group, staying the same is what gets fined. Growth is what gets rewarded. The system is always running. You just get to choose which one you're running in.